The crowded school hallway fell into an uncomfortable silence as every pair of eyes locked onto Maya. Students lined up against the lockers, murmuring to one another and making sharp notes on their clipboards, dissecting her every move. Maya held her clipboard tightly to her chest like a shield, ignoring the stares and trying to make it to the end of the hall. Moments later, the entire hallway was strewn with scattered documents, clipboards, tape, and notes. Maya was down on her knees, desperately pulling the papers together into a messy stack, her heart pounding as she tried to fix the mess. The distinct sound of footsteps cut through the corridor as Claire approached from the far end of the hallway. Clad in a crisp white top and dark skirt, she walked forward with complete composure, coming to a stop directly over Maya. There was no escaping it. The damage was done and the entire school was watching. Claire stood casually in the middle of the hallway, a marker in hand, and a tray of colorful pens balanced in her other arm. With a smirking, confident look on her face, she was busy defacing the gray lockers with bold graffiti, drawing harsh, exaggerated caricatures of the school's faculty with cruel labels like "bossy principal" and "bossy teachers" scrawled across the metal. Further down the hall, Maya frozen mid-step, her backpack resting near the scattered mess of paper clips and boards on the floor. Clasping her notebook tightly against her chest, her eyes were wide with pure shock and fear as she caught Claire red-handed in the middle of her act of vandalism. Instead of leaving the cruel caricatures, Maya quickly took up markers of her own, transforming the lockers into a bold canvas of colorful art. She painted a vibrant tiger mascot surrounded by bright lettering and positive messages like "respect" and "coexist," replacing the mean drawings with something inspiring. Across the hallway, Claire watched the transformation unfold with a subtle, admiring smile. Holding her tray of chalks and resting a hand on the lockers behind her, she realized Maya wasn't just fixing the mess. She was completely changing the story. Maya continued adding detail to the tiger mural, putting the finishing touches on the bright star resting right between its ears with a gentle smile. Across the hall, a boy with glasses enthusiastically joined in on the movement, holding a bundle of colorful markers and neatly writing "coexist" across the opposite lockers. Further down the corridor, other students walked through, pointing in awe at the vibrant art filling the hall. The atmosphere had completely shifted. What started as judgment and chaos had officially turned into a shared moment of creativity and unity. More students quickly jumped in to help, turning the once tense hallway into a lively, collaborative studio. A girl in a green hoodie stepped up beside Maya, smiling warmly as she shared markers and added her own details near the tiger mural. On the opposite side, another student lined up with the boy in glasses, drawing a large peace symbol, paw prints, and hands joining together above the word "respect." What began as an act of hostility had transformed the whole corridor into a shared canvas of art, unity, and friendship. The transformation was complete, as the entire hallway bloomed into a vibrant wall-to-wall masterpiece of student art and positive messages. Portraits of smiling classmates, sprawling green trees with roots reaching down the lockers, and bold words like "community," "dignity," and "dream" stretched down both sides of the corridor. Maya and her friends laughed and chatted as they added the final touches, surrounded by a crowd of cheering, supportive students. What had started as a quiet moment of tension had brought the whole school together to create a lasting symbol of unity. The cheerful chatter abruptly vanished as a stern figure in a navy suit marched down the center of the hallway, clutching a tablet to her chest. Her severe expression and sharp, unyielding glare instantly froze the room in place, sending a wave of nervous silence over the students. Mid-stroke, the artists stopped with their markers resting against the lockers, their wide eyes following her every step. What had just been a celebration of unity and self-expression suddenly felt like a scene caught dead in the act. The principal pointed a stern finger directly at the giant tiger mural, her posture rigid with strict authority. Lined up in a solemn row, Maya and the rest of the students stood with heads bowed and shoulders slumped, their earlier excitement crushed under her fierce reprimand. Down on the floor, two boys were already on their knees with soapy sponges and water buckets, frantically scrubbing away the vibrant artwork. Marker trays lay scattered across the floor alongside damp rags, as the once lively gallery of unity was slowly wiped away back to cold gray metal. The bustling hallway fell completely still and empty, leaving behind only the quiet aftermath of the principal's orders. A metal bucket, a neat stack of fresh sponges, and folded white towels sat waiting on the polished floor beside a sign on the locker reading, "Reset Phase 1 Prep." For now, the vibrant mural remained untouched, its colorful tiger, sprawling trees, and bold messages of unity standing tall down the silent corridor, a temporary calm before the inevitable scrub down. The temporary pause came to an end as the students returned to carry out their task. Armed with sponges, scrub brushes, and buckets of soapy water, they worked tirelessly across the hallway to wash away the artwork. White foam lathered over the lockers as bright colors, hand-painted trees, and bold messages of unity began to streak and fade. Though their expressions were heavy and reluctant, the students scrubbed in determined silence, steadily resetting the hall back to its plain gray walls. As the principal walked down the hallway to inspect their progress, her watchful eyes monitored every scrub and sweep. Under her strict glare, the atmosphere shifted. What began as a forced punishment started turning into something lighter. Small smiles broke out among the students as they worked side by side, turning the tedious cleanup into a shared effort. Even under supervision, the spirit of teamwork remained unbroken as they washed away the paint together. As the cleanup neared its end, Claire stood in the middle of the hallway, watching the remaining artwork slowly disappear. Though she remained distant from the rest, a quiet tension hung in the air, with Maya glancing back as she pauses her scrubbing, sponge in hand. Despite the forced resetting of the walls, a subtle shift had taken place. The shared effort, solidarity, and resilience of the group had transformed a moment of hostility into a lasting statement that simple paint couldn't erase.